Welcome to LK Production channel. This is Mr. LK. Today we are gonna discuss very serious issue. So the very serious matter which will shock you too if you hear it from me. Okay. So I am observing a very serious situations. Which situations currently exist in our country? So when COVID-19 started affecting the people in India, and about 200 to 500 cases of COVID-19 were reported, there was a very complete lockdown in India. And the lockdown was very strict during that period when the cases of COVID-19 were very low. No one was allowed to come out, and if somebody violated the rule and came out of their residence or home, they were brutally lathi charged, punished by the police personnel, and each and everything will remain closed, like school, colleges and other educational institutions, business establishments, markets, shops, malls and government offices. Each and everything will remain closed during that period when the cases of COVID-19 were very low at the time. Okay, when the COVID-19 cases were very low, it's about 200 to 500 cases were reported initially, and during that time the strictness of the lockdown was such serious. No one was allowed to come out from the home. Okay, that means each and everything, everybody of this country, okay, was completely locked down inside their home. Even they could not come out of their home, and they could not even stay at the gate of their residence. Even the police personnel saw them standing at the gate of their residence. Even they were chased, or they were forced to go inside their room, inside their residence. The people who violated the rule, the strictness of the lockdown, and who came out of their residence without any valid reason, and they were brutally lathi charged. They were forced to make up and down on the street of the road. Okay, and they were video recorded, and the video was uploaded in the social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. and all. So it was really very strict, and it was very terrible strictness. It was very terrible during the time. Now in the course of time, the cases of COVID-19 have been immensely increasing with very fast speed. Okay, now the most interesting thing is that the more COVID-19 cases are increasing, the more strictness of the lockdown is decreasing. Is not it a very serious matter? So today with the help of this video, I'm going to show you a chart of that wise COVID-19 cases reported after some time. And so till today, at the time of recording this video, the COVID-19 cases reported were about more than 70,000. Okay, so I'm going to show you a chart, and which will shock you too when you see this chart. Okay, now you see the COVID-19 cases are very high in our country, and initially it was 200 to 500 cases, and it was increasing very fast speed, and now till today it has crossed 70,000 cases. And in the days to come, it will be very much more fearful and much more serious for us. Now these days, as the cases of COVID-19 has crossed 70,000, so what happens? It is very ridiculous. Now the strictness of the lockdown has been relaxed. 60% of the business establishment, markets, towns, shops, each and everything has again reopened. So now as the COVID-19 is increasing very fast with a very high speed, and it has crossed 70,000. Okay, 70,000 cases. Now actually it would have been very serious. The strictness of the lockdown has to be increased manifold. When it was initially, it was very strict when the COVID-19 cases were very low, and now COVID-19 cases have been very high. That is why the strictness of the lockdown is very low. This is really very ridiculous. Okay, now you see in the green zones in our Assam, I'm talking about Assam, some districts have been declared the green zones, and the green zones you can see a lot of people gathering in the shops, markets, banks, and everything, gatherings and gatherings. You go to the town, you will see people and nothing else. So actually this is more serious time, much more serious situations than earlier. So actually the strictness of the lockdown has to be increased. It should be more in compared to the earlier time, but actually it has been happening opposite. So is not it really risky? Yes, it is definitely very risky much more risky. Now let me show you a chart, that was a chart of COVID-19 cases. Okay, look at the screen. I'm gonna show you a chart of COVID-19 cases, that wise COVID-19 cases. Okay, now you see, look at the screen. COVID-19 spreading up quickly. Okay, now you see, it is very shocking actually. If you observe this chart, you will also be shocked. On 5 March, the cases of COVID-19 were only 30 cases were reported on 5th March. Okay, and we will be going like this. And on 15 March, the cases of COVID-19 were 114 cases. So, and we will be going like this. On 15 March, for 15 to 25th March or 25th March, it is increasing, and it has increased up to 657 cases. So it's increasing very fast. Now let us go to the 31st March. On 31st March, the cases of COVID-19 were 1,397 cases. So it's increasing. So now let us be going like this. On 5th April, it is increased manifold. And many times. Now you see 4 times bigger than the earlier. So on 31st March, the cases were 1,397, and on 5th April, the cases have been raised to 4,289 cases. So and 10 April, the cases, COVID-19 cases were 7,600 cases. On 20th April, the cases were 18,539 cases. So it's increasing with very fast speed, which is very terrible and is very serious. Okay, and on 30th April, the cases were 34,863 cases. And after that, on 5th May, some days ago, on 5th May, the cases were 50,000 cases, approximately 50,000 cases. On May 9th, the cases, today it is 13 May, and just 3 or 4 days ago, the cases were 59,765 cases. Now today, at the time of recording this video, that means today on 13th May 2020, the latest and updated cases of COVID-19 today at the time of recording this video is 74,229 cases. So it is very near to be 1 lakh. So actually it is very much more serious than the earlier. So with this speed, if we calculate the speed, we can imagine how will be the cases in the near future, okay, in the days to come. So we can just imagine it may be with this speed up to 28th May, the cases may be 85,000 or more than 85,000, and up to 25th of this month, today it is 13, and in the coming 25th of this month, it may be more than 1 lakh cases. And we can imagine in the first week of June, the cases of COVID-19 may be 1 to 2 lakhs. We can just imagine with the speed as we have seen the speed, the speed of increasing in the previous days. With this speed, if we see, it may be it's going to be very serious, more serious than earlier. So now my suggestion is that it was very strict when the COVID-19 cases were very low. Now it is not strict, it is lenient now, because the COVID-19 cases are very high. So it's working very opposite. So actually now it is the high time to strengthen the strictness of the lockdown, but instead what's happening is that there is no strictness in the lockdown. Now you can see the town, lots of people are gathering in this market, shops, banks and everything, where the situation is very much more serious than earlier. So actually this is also matter, the government cannot continue the lockdown, because if government keep continuing the lockdown, the strictness of the lockdown in this way, what will happen? The government is turning bankruptcy. The government is going to be economically very weak. So the government cannot continue the strictness of the lockdown, because it has to see the economic side of the country also. If the government becomes very weak in the economic side, with the individual people, every citizen of the country will become very poor and economically weak. That is why with the individual people, with the every single citizen has to think now. It is the time of the citizens, individual. Okay, we have to follow the strictness individually, not the strictness of the government. Government imposed strictness, but we, every citizen or every individual has to maintain strictness, lockdown, strict lockdown ourselves. The strictness of, not the strictness of the government, not the order of the government, but we ourselves have to maintain the strict lockdown to prevent us from, COVID-19 cases. Otherwise what will happen? Once we heard about the cases of America, Spain, Italy, that wow, it's very fearful that the COVID-19 cases has been 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, lakhs of thousands of people have been killed in Italy, America. We used to hear the cases, and the cases was very fearful at the time in America, Spain, Italy. Now the situation, like unlike America, Spain and Italy, the situation is going to be happen in our country, like America, Italy, Spain. When we heard about the situation, cases of America, Italy, we are very afraid of that. Now this is time in our country we are going to see with our own eyes the situations which happened in America, Italy, Spain. Okay, that is why actually it is very high time we ourselves have to maintain the strictness of lockdown. Otherwise there is a much more possibility of affecting more and more people in our country also. So okay, that's all. So we have to understand ourselves. If we don't follow strictness of the lockdown ourselves, nobody can prevent us from from being affected COVID-19 cases. So this is we have to understand. Otherwise this is our health, this is our future, this is our country. That is why we ourselves have to maintain the strictness of the lockdown. Otherwise everybody is going to be in a very pathetic condition. Okay, see you next in my next video. I am coming in the next video with a new topic, a very helpful topic. I'll try to come before you. Okay, anyway, till the next video, goodbye, see you next, bye bye.